So continuation to the philosophy based essays. We discussed till yesterday, means last class, we discussed about till tourism sector. We discussed the last was tourism sector. And today I will be discussing I believe it is most interesting topics. These are the next 5 topics which are most interesting, like manufacturing versus service. We think that we know about it, but we need to understand something. We need to understand something more. So manufacturing versus service. Title is, can India become a global manufacturing hub in the China plus one era? What is this? China plus one era. So the basic thing what you have to understand here, now the world is looking for China plus one. Means what? China became stagnant. China is no more growing. China manufacturing sector was a very big push in China, but now the China manufacturing sector has been reduced. Prices has been increased. Labor prices has been increased. So now the world is looking for another country. China plus one, the meaning is that. Are you getting my point? So if you notice, for every title, we have to understand the title. So the title here is China plus one. It is not up to now it was China. Now China is not sufficient. We want one more country, China plus one. So there are already plus one countries are there in competition. Vietnam is running forward. Thailand is running forward. Mexico is running forward. Indonesia is running forward. India is running forward. So in these countries, why we should choose India? So whether China plus India, China plus Vietnam, China plus Thailand, China plus Mexico, or China plus India. So the essay goes like this. So our history. So any country will grow if they are focusing on manufacturing sector, but we have a disaster. We should not use the word disaster, but we have some loopholes. We didn't bother about manufacturing, but we had a boost on service sector. So the service sector contribution was more when compared to manufacturing sector. This manufacturing sector was being used by China. This manufacturing sector was being not used by India. So now if we want to grow big, we have to focus on manufacturing sector. So whether we have to focus on manufacturing sector means we have other competitors like Vietnam, Thailand, who are offering lot of incentives for the international manufacturing companies. In that competition, how we can stand? Are you getting my point? In that competition, how we can stand and how we can bring those manufacturing companies into India. In order to bring those manufacturing companies into India, what are all the steps we have to take in India? What are all the reforms we need to take in India? Already we took reforms like Make in India. We have reforms like many manufacturing sector, not business, manufacturing sector. We have Make in India. We have production linked incentive scheme. Production linked incentive scheme is for service sector or manufacturing sector? Manufacturing sector. So exclusive for manufacturing sectors, what are all the reforms we brought? Whether these are sufficient or not to make India China plus India, or we need to bring more reforms. That is the topic all about. So this is the draft. The draft is what? India's growth story. After liberalization, privatization, globalization, the focus of Indian economy was completely service sector, because of which 50% of our GDP is coming from service sector, whereas 25% is coming from manufacturing sector and 15% is coming from agrarian sector. So only 25%, half of service sector is manufacturing sector. Whereas in China, if we talk about 75% is coming from manufacturing sector, 25% to 30% is coming from service sector. So we had a big jump in service sector, but it's not sufficient, but it is insufficient to have a big push. In order to have a big push, we need to have how much service sector is contributing, that much manufacturing sector need to be there. But in order to have that manufacturing sector, compulsory we need to have multinational companies, manufacturing companies. So these manufacturing companies, why they should not go to Vietnam, why they have to come to India? That is our topic. So in order to make China plus India, I told you. So competition is there. In that competition, we have to stand first. In that competition, everyone should choose India. So if everyone should choose India means there should be a new idea should born. A new idea should born. So if we want to give competition to other countries and if we want to become a substitute for China, a new idea should come. So now we are focusing on new idea. What is that new idea? So no power on earth can stop an idea whose time has come. Now the time has come for India to come up with an idea. And with this idea, we want to become the global manufacturing hub. సో దీని ద్వారా మనకు అర్థమైంది ఏంటంటే మనము ఒక ఐడియాతోని ముందుకు వెళ్ళాల్సిన అవసరం ఎంతైనా ఉంది. ఈ ఐడియా ఏం చేస్తుందనంటే చైనాకి ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ సెక్టర్ లాగా ఇండియా ఒక ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ సెక్టర్ లాగా ఎదగాలి అని అంటే ఆ ఐడియా పుట్టడానికి సమయం వచ్చింది. సో నో పవర్ క్యాన్ స్టాప్ ఆన్ ద ఎర్త్ ఇఫ్ ద టైమ్ హ్యాస్ కమ్ ఫర్ ఎన్ idea. And this idea is for what? To boost the manufacturing sector. The world is aggressively pursuing China plus one strategy, a diversification of risk away from single manufacturing giant. So the world is also looking, ఒకటే కంట్రీ మీద డిపెండ్ అయితే ఎలా, రిస్క్ ఉంటుంది కదా. ఓన్లీ చైనా మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ సెక్టర్ అనగానే చైనా 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 అంటున్నాము, రిస్క్ కదా. ఆ చైనా ఇప్పుడు ఏమన్నా అయింది అనుకోండి, మొత్తం ప్రపంచం మొత్తం దెబ్బతింటుంది. సో ప్రపంచం కూడా చైనా ప్లస్ వన్ కోసం ఉంది. మళ్ళీ ప్రపంచం కూడా చైనా ప్లస్ కోసం వెయిట్ చేస్తుంది. ఆ చైనా ప్లస్ వన్లో ఇండియా ఎందుకు కాకూడదు అనేదే మన ఎస్ఏ అని మనం స్టార్ట్ చేస్తాం అనమాట. సో ఇన్ ఇండియా హౌ, సో when I am starting, I am going to start like this. In the global, the growth story of economy started with liberalization, privatization, globalization. With that, the manufacturing sector and service sectors were being given impetus. But what happened in India is the service sector was being boosted, but not the manufacturing sector. Parallelly, because of special economic zones in China, CSE in China, the manufacturing sector was being boosted, and China became the global manufacturing hub. When we compare the manufacturing sector and service sector, that country will grow, which is giving importance to manufacturing sector. Hence the China's growth story is completely dependent upon manufacturing sector. But coming to India, India's growth story was been completely dependent upon service sector. So there is a need to give boost to manufacturing sector. In order to give boost to manufacturing sector and become an alternative to China, there is a need for idea. Then I will write this. No power on earth can stop an idea whose time has come. Now the time has come to give a birth to an idea, and that idea should push manufacturing sector. And it is a world imperative now. The world is also looking for an alternative. Why? Because the world is also thinking that it is a risk to depend only on China. Now there is a demand for an alternative. Then why India should not fix in the demand? There is a demand for alternative. Why India should not fix in that alternative? Why? Because there is a risk for world countries also to depend only on China. Like that I will write. Then today the debate is what? Manufacturing versus service sector has resurfaced with a renewed vigor. Can India, known for its software prowess, pivot to become a global manufacturing hub? The answer lies not in choosing one sector. So it is not about choosing manufacturing sector. It is about choosing both and growing both. Mali, manufacturing versus service sector lo, we are not shifting our paradigm from manufacturing to service. We should focus on both manufacturing and service. Adi introduction anamata. Are you getting my point? Then the China plus one tailwinds is not merely about finding a cheaper alternative to China. It is about resilience, trust, and strategic autonomy. A large domestic market. So that alternative should be what? Alternative kavali ante emem imperatives. If we want to become that alternative, what are all imperatives should be there to that particular country? Number one, a large domestic market అయి ఉండాలి. అంటే ఫస్ట్ వాళ్ళు కొనాలి, ఆ కంట్రీ వాళ్ళు కొనాలి. థాయిలాండ్లో లేదు, వియత్నాంలో లేదు, మెక్సికోలో లేదు. సో లార్జ్ డొమెస్టిక్ మార్కెట్ కూడా ఉండాలి. అదే ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ అవుతుంది చైనాకి. సో ఏ లార్జ్ డొమెస్టిక్ మార్కెట్, ఏ స్టేబుల్ పొలిటికల్ ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్. సిన్స్ 15 years we are having only one political regime. Since 15 years we are having one political regime. So stable political environment. Second point. And third, a scalable labor force. In India, the labor is very cheap. A scalable labor force. So, ఆ చైనా ప్లస్ వన్లో ఎవరు ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ కావాలి అని అంటే ఈ 3 ఫ్యాక్టర్స్ ఎవరి దగ్గర అయితే ఉంటాయో వాళ్ళే ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ అవుతారు. Are you getting my point? So I gave an introduction, and in the introduction I told that yes, India should become an alternative. Next, in the body I told that so the world is looking for the alternative. In order to become the alternative, there are requirement of 3 imperatives, and one imperative is a domestic market, second is stable political environment, third is scalable labor force. ఈ 3 ఎవరి దగ్గర అయితే ఉన్నాయో అదే చైనాకి +1 లాగా మారుతుంది. ఇప్పటివరకు నేను చైనా ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ అనట్లేదు, చైనా +1. లాస్ట్కి వచ్చేసరికి ఏమవుతుందని అంటే ఇట్స్ నాట్ చైనా +1, ఇట్ ఈస్ ఓన్లీ ఇండియా. సో దిస్ 3 things should be there. So yes, obviously we are having a robust domestic market. India is having a robust దాన్ని ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాను, ఈ 3 పాయింట్స్ని ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాను. ఎస్, ఇండియా ఈజ్ హ్యావింగ్ ఎ robust domestic market. India is having we are having a stable political environment, and we are also having what? Stable labor force. The case of manufacturing, why services are not enough? So ఈ 3 ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి మనం ఓన్లీ సర్వీస్ సెక్టర్తో లిమిట్ అయిపోయాము. కానీ సర్వీస్ సెక్టర్ ఒకదానికే లిమిట్ కాకూడదు. మనం సర్వీస్ సెక్టర్ ఒకదానికే లిమిట్ అయ్యాము, సర్వీస్ సెక్టర్ ఒకదానికే లిమిట్ కాకూడదు. ఇఫ్ వీ నీడ్ టు హ్యావ్ టు గ్రో 5 trillion ఎకానమీ, అవర్ ఆబ్జెక్టివ్ ఈజ్ వాట్? టు మేక్ ఇండియా యాజ్ అన్ 5 trillion ఎకానమీ బై 2030. If we want to reach 5 trillion economy by 2030, we should also focus on manufacturing sector. So hence, manufacturing versus services. The case for manufacturing, why services are not enough? Services, we are having good economy, but that is insufficient. So hence, there should be services, there should be manufacturing. Hence, it is not manufacturing versus services, it is manufacturing and services. Underline చేయాలి. It is not just manufacturing versus services, it is manufacturing and services. Why, sir? Why? Then manufacturing is going to take only the labor who are skilled. Manufacturing is taking only the labor who are skilled, like IT and ITES, information technology and information technology enabled services. But manufacturing sector will take skilled labor, unskilled labor, domestic labor, all the sections of the labors will be getting employment. Hence, manufacturing sector is called as what? Employment elasticity, which is not the case with service sector. Service sector will be taking only skilled labor, but manufacturing sector will be taking skilled labor, non-skilled labor, domestic labor, daily wages. Everyone will be getting the employment. Hence, we call manufacturing sector as what? Employment elasticity. And India is also enjoying demographic dividend. India is also enjoying demographic dividend. If we want to make this demography a boon, then the employment should be provided. And the best sector to give the employment is manufacturing sector. Hence, there is a need to boost manufacturing sector because the demography should become a boon but not a bane. Ingo context. Furthermore, no major economy like UK, USA, Japan, China has achieved developed status without a robust industrial base. So if we also want to become a robust economy, then compulsory we have to focus on manufacturing sector. Why? Because our target is what? 5 trillion economy. Then, okay, then whether we can reach it, whether we can reach 5 trillion economy, whether really we can boost our manufacturing sector, then we have green shots. We have to focus on 3 green shots. That is our strength. So what are the green shots? Number 1, electronics assembly. We are having robust engineers. We are having robust engineering colleges infrastructure. But our electronic goods are being imported. We import our complete electronics. The complete electronics are imported from China, Taiwan and Japan, South Korea. So first we have to focus on what? Electronics assembly units. Second focus should be on pharmaceutical. Green kada, idi green idi. Ademi smoke ivvadu kada. electronics and pharmaceutical. Pharmacy, we are aspiring to become the global capital of pharmacy. So second strength is what? Pharmacy. It is also manufacturing industry only. It is not service sector. It's also manufacturing industry. Third, defense and space. Whether defense and space will release smoke? No, it will not release smoke. Defense manufacturing, space manufacturing. These are three are called as green shots. Yes, in manufacturing sector we can boost when we can boost this electronics assembly industry, when we can boost this pharmaceutical industry, when we can boost this defense and space industry. Then you can ask me a question, sir, but manufacturing industry means automobile? No, sir. Automobile already was been tapped. Automobile already was been tapped by other countries like Italy. Automobile was been already tapped by Germany. So again we cannot tap it. So we have to search for alternatives, and the best alternatives are electronics assembly, pharmaceuticals, and defense and space. These green shots are watered by substantial policy shift, the reduction in corporate tax rates, introductions of GST. These are all the reforms which will deliver. With the reforms of reduction in corporate tax, with GST, with Make in India initiative, with production linked incentive schemes, yes, it is going to have a big push with respect to manufacturing sector, but not with the traditional manufacturing sectors. What are traditional manufacturing sectors? Textile, automobile, inka manufacturing sector. Traditional food processing emo the modern. Footwear, apparels or textiles, apparels, textile, automobile sector. So we are searching for an alternative. The best alternative is what? One more also we can add. Apart from it, we can also search for food processing industry. That is also manufacturing unit, but not that much big. These are big markets. Electronics, no. Electronics, what is electronics is semiconductors. The challenge, the versus in the equation. So the challenge is what? It is not manufacturing versus services, it is manufacturing and services. It is not manufacturing versus services, it is manufacturing and services. So hence we have to focus on our traditional business, which is called as services, and we should also look for new business, which is called as manufacturing sector. So it is not versus, it is what? And. Yes. But what is this? Challenges. Big challenge. Logistic costs. Nearly 13 to 14% of our GDP is going for logistic. అంటే ప్యాక్ చేయడము, తింపడము, ట్రాన్స్పోర్టేషన్కి పంపడము, దానికే 13 to 14%. Whereas compared to 8 to 9% in డెవలప్డ్ ఎకానమీస్. సో ఆ లాజిస్టిక్ కాస్ట్ తక్కువ చేసుకుంటే ఒక 5% ఆఫ్ జీడిపి మనకు మిగులుతుంది అనమాట. సో అవర్ ఛాలెంజ్ ఈజ్ వాట్? లాజిస్టిక్ కాస్ట్. అవర్ ఛాలెంజ్ ఈజ్ వాట్? రెగ్యులేటరీ కొలెస్ట్రాల్. ఇలాంటి వర్డ్స్ మీ ఆన్సర్స్లో, మీ ఎస్ఏలలో పడాలి. ఇలాంటివి మీరు అప్రిషియేట్ చేయాలన్నమాట. రెగ్యులేటరీ కొలెస్ట్రాల్, ఆ కొలెస్ట్రాల్ ఎక్కువ అవుతుంది. ఏంటది రెగ్యులేటరీ కొలెస్ట్రాల్? ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ వాట్? ల్యాండ్ అక్విజిషన్, ఎన్విరాన్మెంటల్ క్లియరెన్సెస్, or no proper single window clearances, or no proper electricity, no proper water, local issues, political issues, corruption. These all are what? Regulatory cholesterols, which are stopping mainly what? Manufacturing sector. These all not required for service sector. What is service sector? We can take one apartment, leave, rent in 3 BHK apartment of 20 computers, finish. We can start a software companies. There is no requirement of any license. There is no requirement of anything. That is not the case. That is not the case with manufacturing sector. Manufacturing sector required what? Land, water, electricity, environmental clearances. Huge clearances will be there. Those clearances are called as what? Regulatory cholesterol. NTV. If we challenge, Vietnam will take half the time to give the permission. Chinna country, Vietnam will take half the time to give the permission. For example, Vietnam is taking 10 days, means India is taking 20 days. So now we are not comparing with China, now we are not comparing with USA, just we are comparing with Vietnam is better performing than India. Regulatory cholesterol. Skill gap. Challenge is a skill gap. Research and development spend. We spend how much? 0.7. China spend how much? 2%. USA spend how much? 5%. But how much we are spending? Research and there is no research and development. Pharmacy means what we want. Pharmacy means we want research and development. Defense means what? Defense and space means what? Research and development we want. Electronics industry means what? Research and development. New variety of interactive panel. A new type of TV. Research and development. But service, so what is these are the challenges. These are the challenges. So what is the solution, sir? Servicification of manufacturing. Servicification of manufacturing means what, sir? We have to use Internet of Things in manufacturing sector. We have to use artificial intelligence in manufacturing sectors. We have to use artificial machines in manufacturing sector. That is called as what? Servicification of manufacturing. So what will happen? Service industry will get the business, manufacturing will happen. Manufacturing will happen, service people also will get contract. Hence service sector will be pushed and manufacturing sector will be pushed. So solution is what? Servicification of manufacturing. Smart manufacturing hub. Massive IT strength to build what? Smart manufacturing hubs. India can offer a world a unique China plus one high-tech manufacturing backed by world class of software support. This manufacturing plus service approach is India's comparative advantage over Vietnam or Bangladesh. Hence, what is the way forward? Integration of MSME, focus on labor-intensive sector, cooperative federalism, skilling revolution. If we all do this with the servicification of manufacturing, hence we can not only become alternative to China, we can also become only India. ఎలా అయితే ఇప్పటి వరకు ఓన్లీ చైనా ఉందో, సో నవ్ వి విల్ నాట్ బికమ్ అన్ ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ టు చైనా, వి విల్ బికమ్ ఓన్లీ ఇండియా. సో సీ హియర్, the China plus one era is not a guarantee of India's rise, it is merely an invitation. The debate of manufacturing versus services is ultimately a false dichotomy. A bird cannot fly with one wing, and a nation of 1.4 billion cannot prosper on services alone. Hence, we want two wings. One is service sector, other is manufacturing sector. India can indeed become a global manufacturing hub, but not by mimicking China's past. It must carve a new path. On that marries its services prowess with industrial ambition, prioritizing green manufacturing and focus on democratic inclusive growth. If India can fix its logistics, if India can fix its skill, its youth, and embrace a manufacturing and services model, the 21st century will not just be the Asian century, but the Indian century. As the world looks for plus one, India must stand up to say, we are the one. World is looking for plus one, but we should become, we are the one. మీరు అనలైజ్ చేస్తే ప్రాపర్గా, ఇఫ్ యూ ప్రాపర్లీ అండర్స్టాండ్ ద ఫ్రేమింగ్ ఆఫ్ మై ఎస్సే, ఇట్ ఈస్ టేకింగ్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ టైమ్. సో వీ షుడ్ నాట్ మూవ్ ఫ్రమ్ ద టాపిక్, దట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్. కొన్ని సందర్భాలలో ఏమవుతుందనంటే, పీపుల్ వాట్ దే విల్ డూ, they will write about service sector, they will write about manufacturing sector, they will draw a diagram, GDP this much contribution, manufacturing sector this much contribution. చదివేసి ఉంటారు కదా, 1990లో ఇంత ఉంది, 2000లో ఇంత ఉంది, 2001లో ఇంత ఉంది, 2011లో ఇంత ఉంది, 2021లో ఉంది, లేదా ఎకనామిక్ సర్వే 2024లో ఇంత ఉంది. ఎవాల్యుయేటర్ మనస్తత్వం ఎలా ఉంటుందనంటే, ఇతను ఈమె నా ప్రశ్నకి ఆన్సర్ రాస్తున్నారా లేదా, అంతవరకే. సో మరి ఈ ప్రశ్న ఏంటి? దిస్ ఇస్ వెరీ టఫ్ క్వశ్చన్. దిస్ ఇస్ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ వర్సెస్, సో ఇట్స్ నాట్ అబౌట్ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ వర్సెస్ సర్వీస్, దిస్ ఇస్ టైటిల్, బట్ ద స్టేట్మెంట్ ఇస్ వాట్? కెన్ ఇండియా బికమ్ ఏ గ్లోబల్ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ హబ్ ఇన్ ద China plus one era? So it is not a China plus one era, it is we the one era. That should be our understanding. దీనికి మీకు ఎకానమీ కూడా రావాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు, దీనికి ఎకానమీ కూడా మనం చదవాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. ఎకానమీ లేకుండా రాస్తాం కదా. ఎస్ఏ అంటే ఏంటి? యూపీఎస్సీ నోటిఫికేషన్లో ఎస్ఏ పేపర్ కింద ఏమైనా చదివారు ఎవరైనా? యూపీఎస్సీ నోటిఫికేషన్ ఏదైతే నోటిఫికేషన్ వస్తుందో పీడిఎఫ్లో మీరు చదివితే, GS1 ఎస్ఏ పేపర్ కింద ఏమని ఉంటుందంటే, ఏ జనరల్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ ద సబ్జెక్ట్స్. జనరల్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ ద సబ్జెక్ట్స్. వాట్ జనరల్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్? అవును, మనం సర్వీస్, చిన్నపిల్లలు కూడా తెలిసి ఈ రోజులలో మనం సర్వీస్ సెక్టర్ మీద ఫోకస్ చేసాం, మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ సెక్టర్ మీద ఫోకస్ చేయలేదు. ఇప్పుడు అవకాశం వచ్చింది, ఎందుకు? చైనా పర్ఫామ్ చేయట్లేదు కాబట్టి. ఇప్పుడు అవకాశాన్ని మనం వాడాలంటే ఏం చేయాలి?